Hey, what's up? Yeah. Not much, just relaxing. Scorpio. I just had my birthday on the 24th of October. Thanks. Hip hop and jazz. Jazz came to me a lot later, but I've been listening to hip hop my whole life. It's some of the first music that I actually ever heard. So, when I was like starting to form my taste or opinions about music, the first hip hop record I ever heard was by Arrested Development in the early 90s. So, I heard that, like, my mom and dad had that CD when I was growing up, and the only other CDs they had were, like, Madonna, MC Hammer, and, like, Tom Petty, Queen, AC/DC, and, like, Van Halen. I think it was just, like, I don't know, that I thought that was the best. And also about hip-hop, just the repeating beat. I mean, hip-hop's the most popular music, I think, in the world at this point. Yeah, definitely. And I think just musically, hip hop, just the repeating rhythm, it just reminds me of a pulse beat. Like it's literally the beat of your pulse. It's I don't know. I think that's what speaks to every I think it's the most popular music in the world because I think everyone can just relate to that just repetitiveness. Like a lot of waking up just doing the same shit every day. You know, you work a job, you do the same stuff, and I think hip hop kind of captures that vibe, that daily repetitive vibe, and then trying to like wrapping around it. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I love all those groups. I mean, the golden era, like mid 80s to mid 90s hip hop, especially New York stuff, I just think that's some of the best music I've ever heard. Yeah, I had the day off work, and I had a good day today. I got up, I went down to Second Street Market in Dayton. I picked up a loaf of bread from my homie. You know, have you ever been down there before? It's usually popping off. I mean, it's just like a bunch of like, you know, richer folks buying organic stuff and, you know, whatever. Uh, I like all the like vendors and stuff there, but you know, just like a farmer's market, real low key. In the summer, there's like, you know, there's live music and stuff. I mostly just go down there because I really like Andrew from Good Hands Bread Company, and I like to pick up his loaves of bread. Yeah. No, I'm not really the best cook. I'll be sitting up here like making ramen for myself and stuff. Yeah, so I picked up some bread, and then after that, I made some brunch with my partner. We enjoyed that, and then I was hanging out on Instagram, like I usually do. And another one of my homies, Crystal Vintage Prophecy, started doing this like live auction where they're like selling cool clothes for like super cheap. So I like went back down into the city of Dayton and like traded like a bunch of my clothes for some other stuff and got some stuff for myself, which was pretty fun. Yeah, that's definitely a good deal. Like, I'm interested in that as well. I've never designed my own t-shirts, but I definitely am interested in it. I was talking with, you know, Fred from Smith Map, right? Yeah, you got, yeah. We were talking about making like some t-shirts like off of movies and stuff like that, which I thought would be really super cool. Sure. I met Fred because I go and I shop at Omega, and I saw him there, and we started talking about the Velvet Underground, and he's like, "Oh shit, that's my favorite band." I'm like, "Me too." And I met you initially. Well, actually, besides how I actually started talking to Fred was at a pop up in Dayton, like Shag Hair or something like that, and my friend yeah, my friend Rink Rat, who sells all those like vintage sports jerseys on Waterville, he was there. Yeah, and he was friends with Fred, and he's like, "Oh, you should meet Nate." And then we started talking about like avant-garde music and stuff like that. And I was like, "Oh, that's kind of cool because anyone who's actually into that stuff," Fred's like, "Oh yeah, it's probably like 80 people in the city. You know, it's not that many people that are gonna like mess with this stuff." So I was like, oh, okay, cool. I'm starting to find people that actually are like into this stuff. And I met you at a Smith Map gig where I was working the door. Hey, I get the money. Not really, actually. About a week ago, me and Fred like did a jam session, and it was like fun. And I like wrote like two like just nonsensical, absurdist songs, but we haven't got together since then. I mean, I feel like being a live band is gonna be pretty difficult for me because like I'm in a relationship and I work two different jobs, and I'm always just trying to hustle money all the time. So I feel like it's not like my main priority. So I feel like if I collab with people, I want to start doing it like remotely, where like I just send them recordings and shit, and then they can just do it and edit it together and just release an album. I probably won't perform live. Yeah. I have right now is an acoustic guitar, and then I have like this weird like noise instrument that I bought from Skeleton Dust that was made by Crank Sturgeon. It's just like a bunch of contact mics and a doorbell on like a wood, and you can plug it into an amp and have like a distortion pedal. It's just basically a noise maker, like a harsh noise maker thing. Sure, that was about 10 years ago. So it was basically a noise band where it was kind of like a joke. We would just like get ideas, and before like fleshing the ideas out, we basically would just hit record and just start making up as we went, kind of like a free jazz sort of approach to it, but without any musical education, you know. Just Dada type shit. It was really fun. I mean, we played like 5 different gigs, and then the band broke up. I performed in New York City for one of them. I didn't get paid any money for any of this shit, and it was, at the end of it, it was just total madness. Right. Yeah. Yeah, just complete madness, basically. I mean, we didn't even know what the fuck we were doing. Like, we were like taking Game Boy Colors and like plugging them into like 5 different pedals, and one person would just be playing Pokemon, and you would hear that like iconic Pokemon battle stuff over, and it'd just be warped. And person would be on drums. None of it's rehearsed. None of it is fucking like. It's just like we have this idea and we just start doing shit. Some people fucking loved it. You know, like I don't know. Yeah. It was a lot of fun. Like a lot of my noise stuff I felt like was like kind of social media influence. Like I was like on Facebook a lot, and this is like 2012, 2013. And I would just see headlines that were just complete bullshit about something. I'm like, there it is. That's the album title right there. And I would just screen cap it, and then we would just go from there. Like at that time, it was like, yeah, I was like, yeah, like I would see something that's like Ed Snowden reveals that Project Prism is recording everyone. I'm like, well, that's what I'm already doing, man. Hit record, and then we would just start making bullshit up, call it the Ed Snowden album or whatever. Man, if they do copy it, like they're not gonna get any money. I know that because it's real art. I'd say jazz. I didn't really actually start getting into jazz until I think about 3 years ago. and it's just really opened up my mind to like a lot of stuff, like Ornette Coleman, free jazz, Sun Ra, all that stuff. I mean, I'd always like listen to that when I was younger, but I didn't really like get it. Like it didn't really click for me. And then now, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'm into it. Yeah. Yeah, actually. I just watched this movie for the first time called Cube. Came out in like 1999. It was like this Canadian indie movie. Have you ever seen it? I don't know what it was, but it was super low budget, and it was just all these people locked in this cube, super low budget, and they're just trying to escape, and they're just booby traps everywhere, and people are like dying and stuff, and then that's the whole movie. I thought it was awesome. Like, I don't know, I just like really simple, low budget movies. I like really movies that are just like so horrible, they're like B movies, or, you know. Yeah. It's just funny to me. I'm just like, man, people got money to like make this. This is inspiring. Yeah, definitely. Blair Witch Project's probably one of my favorite movies, probably. The Watcher. No, I haven't seen it. I'll check it out. Besides that 21 Savage Drake song, I haven't really kept up. Like, I hear that one everywhere. Um, no, I haven't really listened to like any like new music. I feel like I'm really like not current. Like, I don't really like watch much movies anymore, like new movies. If as far as music, like unless it's something I'm already exploring, it's probably not on my radar. Like, I don't know. I just feel like, I don't know, I was born in 91, so like I grew up right before the internet, and now that the internet's here, it's like anything's possible, which is super awesome, but then there's this other side to it where it's like, well, if you can literally make any movie you want now, then it's like creativity's different or something is what it feels like. Like on Netflix, there's just so many fucking shows. I'm just like, I don't even know. Yeah, I'm just like, I mean, I'm sure some of it's great, but I'm like, I don't know where to fucking start. Like, and I studied film, so I know a lot about it, and like a lot of, I feel like I'm just kind of jaded or something. Like, I watch movies and like, I just like have this feeling where like I'm watching someone acting or something, and the illusion or whatever isn't there for me. Like, I really like documentaries, and I like watching people in like real situations. Like, that's the most compelling stuff Yeah, it's like people talk about Jordan Peele, like saying he's like an auteur and stuff, and it's like I like his movies, but they're still like very much like just like genre pieces or something for me. Like I just have this feeling like when I watch movies nowadays, like I don't hate on Jordan Peele. Like I think they're good movies, but it's like I feel like they're not for me. Like I'm not the audience for them. It's like how I feel. Did you watch Euphoria? What'd you think of that? Yeah, I watched the first season. I typically, like, I don't finish any series of things. I'm just bad at that because I'll watch them and I'm like, okay, I've spent 7 hours watching this. I can't do it anymore. Like, even if it's good because it's just so long of a dedication after that. I don't really watch TV, like any television series. I like movies, but I watched some of Euphoria and I was like, oh, this is kind of like a game changer for like a series. I thought it was like filmed in a way where I could tell it was going to open up a lot of doors. Yeah, it's like hyper stylized. Cool. You're gonna be performing in Chicago, right? Nice. Nice. That's cool. Have you ever played there before? That's cool. Uh, no. I went through there. I was on the Amtrak and I stopped at the big station there. But besides that, no, I've never really explored it. Yeah. Yes, I have read. Nice. Cool. Yeah. No, I don't. That's why I don't think it's gonna like pop off really. I don't even know if it's like actually a thing at this point. Like I said, it was just like Fred and Danny from Smith Map came over. I was like, okay, there's some potential here, but then like I was like trying to navigate all this other shit I do in my life, and I'm like, Yeah, I like Danny a lot. He was talking to me about his interest in spoken word stuff when we were chilling. I'm like, oh, okay. I was like, I definitely fuck with that because I'm a poet as well, and I have, hundreds of pages of just random shit that I've written throughout the last 10 years. I mean, that was what I was primarily, first and foremost, besides like noise music. I just saw noise music as an element to enhance what I was doing with words, Yeah. Yeah. Favorite band right now? I just keep listening to the same music that I've always been listening to. I've always listened to drone metal music by Sun. I'm just always listening to that and stuff like Earth, like Southern Lord stuff. So, yeah, I've listened to interviews with Dylan Carlson from Earth, and he likes the Grateful Dead, and he's really into him, which is, yeah, he's influenced. Yeah, definitely. I've always tried to get into the Grateful Dead, but it's actually never clicked for me. I've never really been a Grateful Dead fan. It's always been something I've tried to understand. Like, I know that they, like, how they made music and how they disseminated their music was, like, the real game changer. I'm, like, more sociologically interested in them as a phenomenon rather than, like, actually listening to their music. I've heard that album. I like music from that era, though. I mean, I love the Stones, and I love the Velvet Underground. I love the Doors, and stuff like that. But I don't know. Grateful Dead never really clicked for me, but I'm still open to it. I probably just need to hear something live because all I really listened to was Working Man's Dead and American Beauty. I don't know. It's like it just sounded very like generic, like '60s, like hippie shit to me. I was like, I don't know. Damn. Yeah. Everybody was on drugs then. A couple other, the Doors is actually up. I'd put the Doors probably in my top five. I really like the Doors, and I like other. I've been and just going back to what I'm listening to lately. A lot of Jay Dilla beats, stuff like that. Um, yeah, Ninth Wonder. What else am I really into? Like that's from that '60s era. I think that to me the Stones probably are the best rock band. I mean, if someone's like, "What's the best rock band?" I'm like, the Stones probably. I've always thought like if aliens came to Earth and you were like, "Okay, how do you describe to them what rock music is?" I would just be like, the Stones. That's just the definition of what it would be to me. Yeah. Yeah, I like the Sex Pistols. I'm really into punk. I love the Germs. I love the Sex Pistols. Iggy and the Stooges, one of my favorites of all time. Shout out from Michigan. Uh, love that stuff. Yeah, I'm into the Sex Pistols. I bought the CD, never mind the bollocks, and I went through a period where I just listened to that CD like over and over and over. I love it. Yeah, because it was EMI, right? Yeah. Yeah, that's a good question. I've thought about that. That's a good point to make because back when I was in a noise band, there was like two other people in the band, and we were all very different people with different ideas. But the one thing that we all had in common is we didn't really care about the project or how it was perceived at all. So what it comes across as is like not really actually representative of really what I think, really, which is kind of strange because it's like I made all this art that I don't even really feel represents me. But those were the sort of the ideologies I was writing on at that time of like nihilism, musical nihilism, and story. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you gotta go with your instincts, and you just gotta be real. If it sounds contrived, it's gonna sound contrived to the audience. I mean, that's what I think. But back to your question about ambitions about a musical project or anything. I said I don't really have any, which is probably why it's not gonna pop off. Originally, why I made art and stuff was for like introspective reasons, to like learn more about myself, and stuff like that, which wasn't really commercially based or anything like that. So the second I get done writing a poem or say making a film or something like that, if I feel like I explored the idea enough or like I feel better, then like that was a success for me. And if anyone else like saw it, like an audience, then I just would leave it to their interpretation if they got anything out of it. I feel like I've never really made music for other people before, which is probably how I got into like avant-garde stuff or like stranger stuff that doesn't have commercial appeal. Because I never thought about it like when I made my shit. Which is why I'm not a paid performing artist at this time. Yeah. That's cool. How long has Spirit Navigator's been a thing? Yeah. I remember when I first met you, the first thing I noticed was your sense of fashion. Are you really into clothes and stuff? Because I noticed the all leather and I was into it, and it's like very punk, but it's like also kind of interesting to hear the clashing philosophy of like Grateful Dead or like acid influenced ideology for like music. I think that's kind of interesting. Yeah, I can see all these influences in what I listen to with Spirit Navigation or the Spirit Navigators. It's like it sounds like to me it's like the soundtrack of like if you're surfing like outdated internet technology or retro like early 2000s internet like on acid. You know what I mean? Like that's what it sounds like to me, which I think is fucking cool because like when I was making noise music, I was like thinking in my mind, like the muse was like, what is going on in people's heads like when they're just scrolling, right? Like scrolling through their Facebook feed, just looking at endless amounts of propaganda, bullshit, like opinions from people who can't even like articulate their own thoughts. You know what I mean? Just the non-stop insanity of it. Like it's. I've always thought that like just being on social media for a lot is the equivalent of like a negative acid trip or something like that. It's just total madness. The soundtrack to that is like great, like pure art for our times. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's like the same sort of ideas I had when I was doing noise music. I was thinking about that sort of shit. It's just fascinating to me. It's thinking about just sounds in general that you hear every day. And before iPhones existed, I think the world sounded different to people. Now you got all these fucking sounds coming out of your phone, literally, like all day, just these stupid little beeps, Brian sounds like beep, it's like, it's just different. Like, that's why I like all this avant-garde stuff, like, that orange milk is pushing out from all over the world and stuff. It's fascinating. I mean, that's the whole reason I listen to that stuff. And if I was gonna listen to, like, any new music, which I want to, orange milk is always on my radar. I'm just like, what's coming out with that, like, Bob Dylan at the Nutter Center. Yeah, I was just like sitting there. I think I was like, a sophomore in high school, and I didn't know like a lot about Bob Dylan and shit. And then he's just on stage going, "Everybody must get stoned." And I'm just like, what the fuck is going on with this shit, man? Fucking Bob Dylan. Can you believe that dude's still alive right now in 2022? Like, dude, Bob Dylan is still fucking alive somehow. All-time favorite movie shit. I don't know. I got so many. If someone's gonna tell me like probably what's the best movie, I'd probably say 2001 by Kubrick, probably. I just think he's one of the best. I mean, his movies just get better with time, like literally. Yeah. Oh, I'm well familiar. When I was in art school in my screenwriting class, I had a DVD of it and I showed it to the whole class. Yeah, Kenneth Anger, he's one of my favorite filmmakers. I have that DVD set right next to me. Did you know he's an Ohioan? Did you know that? conceptualized the idea of the modern day music video, basically. When people started making music videos, that they were imitating his loose narrative style and the highly colorized stuff of all that. I prefer Inauguration of the Pleasure Dome by him. Yeah, I love all his movies. He's one of the best to me. One of my favorite quotes from Kenneth Anger is that the day cinema was invented was a dark day for humanity. I think that's extremely true. I think what he means by that is like, cinema is what I know the most about. That's what I study, and I think what he's trying to say is, he understands cinema is the art of illusion. That is what it is, trickery. I mean, George Méliès, he was a magician before he picked up a camera. Then when he picked up a camera, he's like, oh, I can trick people into doing this. Cinema is anything that you film, so therefore, by default, anything that you point a camera at, it becomes an illusion of whatever it is. So now with the news media, all of it, and with what we can do with cameras nowadays, people seem to forget when they're looking at a screen or a recorded image that it's an image first and foremost. You know what I mean? And people just take it as truth, and it's so trippy. Like, I feel like Kenneth Anger and anyone who is a filmmaker, they know, I've always said this, that filmmakers are the single most powerful people in the world. I really think that's true. Like, whatever, you can sell a campaign to get power, whatever you want to do. I mean, like, Godard said, cinema is life. That's another good quote. And I think that's another kind of deep one. That's very true. But I could go on and on about this shit. Yeah, definitely. I think a lot of it is people just don't have what I call media literacy. People they need to know what social media is before they get on it. They need to understand what news articles are. They need to understand what movies are. They need to understand how movies are made. Like, take a movie like Jurassic Park, right? It's like, that movie's fucking crazy. Like, people walked into a movie theater in '93. That blew people's minds. You know what I mean? Yeah, like, it's crazy, and it's just like Steven Spielberg is an artist of illusion. There are people, and everything from that point on, people just get better and better and better at it. You know what I mean? And it's like, you can take it as far as you want to take it. And people just have to, they have to look at things and think about it. And I think that's why I like the avant-garde, because throughout all time that avant-garde shit has existed, and the whole point of it seems to be to challenge what something is. And with avant-garde music, it's kind of, when you're listening to it, the artist is asking these questions like, what is music now in these times? Is this music or is it not? Like, it's fascinating. Yeah. Everyone always asks me this shit, and it's like, I don't really fucking, smoke weed. Everyone thinks I'm a stoner and shit. I think it's just because of the way I talk, and I guess I have far out ideas like, man, this guy's done a bunch of drugs and shit. I really haven't. I've actually read, a lot of books and, watched a lot of movies. I'm a nerd. I went to the library a lot. My favorite kind of weed, I don't even have a favorite kind of weed. I prefer, if I'm gonna indulge at all, which is very rarely, it's gonna be something that is weed. I'm talking something that has like a THC volume of like less than 14%. Like, and I'll probably just take one hit and then just be like, thanks guys, and just go to sleep or some shit. I'm not anti-weed, I'm not even anti-drug or anything like that. I mean, I think all drugs should basically just be legalized, if you ask me. Favorite book? Oh, there's a couple books that I read. So one of the best books that I read is called 2666 by Roberto Bolaño. I read that a couple of years ago. Was it a book that I would say I enjoyed? No, but it really is. It's like 1,000 pages long. It's this fucking epic ass thing that I wasn't doing anything at the time, so I had time to do it. It was great, but then after I read that, I started getting turned on to short stories and stuff. I really like Jorge Luis Borges's short stories, the Latin American author. Stuff like that. I really appreciate like short stories and stuff. I started getting into like Latin American shit, and I grew up reading beatnik stuff. Like I read Naked Lunch by Bros when I was like in high school. That kind of reading something like that got my head real far out of like just the narrative structure, and I started thinking more about collage and words and stuff. But it's a very ugly book, but it got me thinking. Food. I'm getting very fascinated with food. I work in restaurants right now, and like I said, I don't really cook a lot, but I've been starting to get interested in people like Anthony Bourdain, who seems to me like this kind of like artist, like beatnik dude who like traveled around, but he like just hung out and like ate good food and stuff. And I've been like reading about food and stuff. I went to Blind Rage the other day, Blind Rage Records, and I picked up this book by Adam Granande. I think that's how you pronounce his last name. It's called like Tomorrow Everything Will Be Different or something, and it's like about him growing up in San Diego, and each chapter is like a name of a food, and then he associates like that food with like whatever that was in his life. Like it could be something as simple as like a grilled cheese sandwich. He's like, oh, I was really poor, I would eat this every day, and just like start talking about his life. Like, so I've been really, what I look forward to is food, and I've been thinking about food that people eat and its relationship with like their memories, how people live, basically. Lately I've just been eating egg, cheese, and bacon sandwiches. True Midwest style. I'm gonna send you a link to some short films I've made, because they were influenced by Kenneth Anger. I think you might be into it. Some I did, some I didn't. And the ones that I did, they were more like just sound recordings. It wasn't like I composed music for them. It would be like I just recorded like something and I kind of layered it up, you know, to make something kind of like atmospheric or ominous. Besides that, it's not really like music, you know? Like I would record like, yeah, say myself taking a shower or something, and then I would just take that drone and just stretch it and slow it out and it would sound, you know, like really strange. I didn't really start collecting vinyl until I moved back to Dayton in 2017 because I couldn't afford records because I was living out in the Pacific Northwest and I was like in poverty the whole fucking time, so I couldn't afford anything. But when I came to Dayton, there was such a record scene here. I mean, there's like 4 fucking record stores, I think, at this point in the city. And it's not a... Yeah, it's like... It's crazy. So it's like... And then you got Robert Pollard here from Guided by Voices. Like, when I came here, it's like, it was cheaper to live. And then just, I would be hanging out at different people's houses, and they would all have record collections. Everybody, like, some people would have 150, some people would have 30, but everyone had records. So I started getting exposed to a little bit more and, like, listening to records on people's turntables, and I started, like, enjoying that basic ritual, I guess. And so then I started buying records, and I saw that the value of them kind of retained itself, because I've always collected like physical media and like sold them and stuff. I did that with DVDs. I would flip them at the time before Blu-rays came out. I would make a little money and stuff, and that's how I like learned about a lot of films. So I would get like really rare films that'd be out of print, you couldn't find anywhere before streaming. I'd watch them, read about them, sell them. And with vinyl, that's about the only physical media right now I think that still retains its value. So it's kind of a safe hobby to me, because you buy something and hey, when you need the money later, you can't afford it, you can always like flip it and usually get your money back. So I don't know, about 5 years I've been flipping and collecting records. How many? Damn! Yeah, like, I talk with, like, people about, like, size of records collections, and to me, I think the perfect size is, like, anywhere from, like, 150 to 300, because, I don't know, it's like you only have so much time to actually, like, I could listen to, like, more than 300 to me is, like, you're just collecting them at that point, but I like to actually listen to my records, and it's like, if you have 300 records, you could listen to a different record every single day. And it's like, I'm not listening to records every single day, you know what I mean? So it's like 150 to like 300, and I don't know, that's enough for me. That's what's up. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't pass up those opportunities. I would just be flipping them probably and keep the good ones out. Cool. I DJ when I can sometimes. I was also a gay DJ, like at a dive bar and stuff. I've got paid to DJ before. Yeah. Yeah, most definitely. That's another reason why I like records. Going back to Sun, which is just an obsession band of mine because I've been listening for them so long. It's like idea music. Like I listen to Sun and it gives me ideas, you know. visuals. And I bought Sun on record just so I could listen to it slower. Like that was the reason I bought it on record. It's like I know I could just upload a MP3 or whatever, slow it down, but it's like I don't know. I just wanted to like physically slow it down and mess with it. And that's perfect music to like mess with because it's so minimal, you know. I love DJ Screw and stuff. I love the slowed down, chopped and screwed hip hop stuff. So I'll buy hip hop and like really fuck with the speeds. And to me, like a really good record is one that you basically can't fuck up. Like I have Illmatic by Nas on vinyl, and like I've listened to it in so many different ways. It all just sounds good, no matter what. To me, at least. And I'm just like, it's a fucking perfect record to me. Yeah, play Because I Got High by Afro. Alright, so this is coming out on the podcast. Okay, sweet. Yeah, it's been nice talking to you. You're a real chill person, and I hope you have fun in Chicago, and until we meet the great GYT again.